For more on this, we turn to Steve Yates, Senior Research Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Steve, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this. In his remarks today, the Vice President said the people of Greenland eventually will choose to become part of the U.S., that despite a poll in late January that said 85% of the population is against such a move. Help us unpack this. It sounds like President Trump doesn't have the support there in Greenland.
Well, this is like a lot of the big issues that the new Trump administration has taken on very early in their tenure, where they lay out a vision somewhat down the road, and then there's a little bit of a shock reaction and people step back and start working step by step. And so Vice President Vance made very clear today that the first step is going to be Greenland exercising self-determination and basically declaring independence from Denmark. After they have done that, they would be within their sovereign rights to negotiate a new compact with the United States, whether that's some kind of federation of becoming a territory of the United States or just having a new strategic relationship with the United States. There would be just a different path forward for the future. But this matters for the geostrategic reasons the Vice President mentioned about global missile defense and looking at access to resources, but also because there's clear evidence that China has been encroaching upon the Arctic, and it has never been an Arctic power.
Let's talk a bit more about that. Why does the Trump administration think Greenland could be such a crucial part of America's national security?
Well, in some ways, it's like the East Coast pairing with Alaska, which also was not taken by conquest, but by agreement. And it's the location that matters in terms of access to space and for intercontinental missile defense kinds of purposes. But there's also resource rich, as is Alaska on the western coast. And so if we're going to reduce our dependencies on China for access to rare earths and other kinds of important resources, we're going to preserve the strategic access to the Arctic only by those who are truly Arctic powers, then this piece of real estate is very, very important for the United States, but also for the partners in the free world.
So what's next? There was a lot of pushback in Denmark today. What happens next, Steve?
I think publics generally are shocked when big change is put before them, but I think they've heard plenty that the United States is prepared to have a very generous relationship with Greenland. And you could hear in the segment that you led with that there's general goodwill towards the United States and a recognition that such a small population in a very strategic location is going to need to have good relations with an outside power, especially one like the United States. So I think we'll let the pop and sizzle of this visit cool a bit before we assess where their reaction is going to go. But the Trump administration, make no mistake, has planted the flag that they're serious about this.
Steve Yates, Senior Research Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, thank you.
Thank you.